who right now would you say is in the playoff penthouse? Note, this is not predictions. This is more so where things stand. So think of it more as this is who's in the playoff penthouse right now, this far into the season. This is who we feel good about. Will they be there? I don't know, man. I don't know. Your rent's due every day in the playoff penthouse. Alabama, they are very firmly in the playoff penthouse, have the best win of the season under their belt. I think they're the best team right now in college football. I'm not saying anything about Texas, not saying anything about Georgia. I don't know how you stop that offense. Like when Jalen Milroe is spinning it how he was spinning it against Georgia. And I'm not just talking about the deep ball. I'm talking about like he's precise, he's accurate, he's on time. He's putting the ball not just to the right player, but in the right spot. Like it's the right placement of the football. They're darn near undefendable. And Ryan Williams is a massive part of that. But whenever you have a quarterback who can just dismantle you with what they do on the ground as well, you put them in a major bind offensively. Because if you try and put extra numbers to stopping Jalen Milroe in that run game, well, guess who gets less attention? Guys like a Ryan Williams, who has proven what he can do. A Jeremy Bernard, who's proven what he can do. Like, there's too many weapons to not give extra attention to the pass game. So Alabama, they're going to be a tough out. Now, it very much so lies with Jalen Milroe being consistent, but they're going to be a very tough out. Georgia, yep, still in the playoff penthouse. JD, why? Because Georgia, I don't think, is losing 2 more football games this season. And again, this is not a projection, but if you tell me Georgia gets 2 more losses, I think they probably, or 1 more loss rather, I feel really good about them the rest of the way in the playoff penthouse. Now, the Ole Miss game will be what it is. The Texas game will be what it is. You got to split those two. Can't start slow, but I have a very difficult time believing this Georgia team, what they are right now moving into October, I think they'll trend upward. I don't think we'll see them consistently start slow. I think that Alabama game will wake them up a little bit. Still one of, if not the best roster in college football. Georgia, I know you lost. I know it doesn't feel good to have someone knock on your door and say, hey, are you moving out anytime soon with that loss to Bama? But no, Georgia still very firmly in the playoff penthouse as of right now. College football sickos, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. It's college football, nothing but college football every single day, and we appreciate y'all being locked in. Want to make sure you know the Hard Count is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks daily fantasy, made easy, easy to play, easy to withdraw what you win. When you use code HARDCOUNT now, $5 in lineups gets you $50 in promo funds. Now, we got to play for you a little bit later in this segment, so stay tuned, but we're on a heater right now. Said it before, we're on a heater, so if you want to fade us, do so at your own risk. If you want to tail us, let's get after it. All right, so again, code HARDCOUNT. We appreciate y'all using that, and we appreciate y'all being subscribed. Let's get after it. Now, Ohio State just beat Michigan State. Another situation where the box score probably looks a little bit more definitive than the actual win was. Ohio State, at the end of the day, they were Ohio State in this game, which is not a super novel analysis, but it's kind of the way that I feel about it. Ohio State, barring something wildly unforeseen, was not losing to Michigan State. Now, took a little bit to get revved up in that first half, ended up pulling away at the end of the first half, and they were what they were. Jeremiah Smith is an absolute action figure. I mean, him and Ryan Williams, man, what they're doing right now as true freshmen in college football is nothing short of remarkable. Jeremiah Smith had 2 ridiculous one-handed catches against Michigan State, one that made SportsCenter, I believe, with the touchdown. He's special. He's different. And I think with Ohio State, they now have, I believe, not 1 but 2 number 1 wide receivers on that offense between Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith. Not 1 but 2 RB1s with Quinshon Judkins and Trevion Henderson. And that's great. They got Iowa this week. Increased level of difficulty for the boys out there in Columbus, but we keep saying this, and I think this is 100% true. It will always be about Will Howard. It is right now. It will be going forward. At some point in time, he has to make the difference for you. Because when you match up with a Georgia, match up with an Alabama, there's going to be, I think, a even level of roster talent. Now, not to say that Ohio State won't own some of those matchups, but at some point in time, Will Howard will have to be the difference maker for you. And the fact that Kyle McCord wasn't last year is a big reason why he's at Syracuse right now. So we'll see what happens there with Ohio State. But Will Howard, it's going to come down to you, brother. I think they're in the playoff penthouse. Kansas State. Speaking of Will Howard, Kansas State, man, this is the only part of the playoff penthouse that is a little bit projection in nature. They beat the brakes off Oklahoma State. They got a bye this week. They're at Colorado, I believe, the next week. They're my pick to win the Big 12 right now. All right? Like they don't have to play Utah until that Big 12 title game. They should be favored in every game for them the rest of the season. Like, that's how strongly I feel about Kansas State. Avery Johnson is a game plan breaker. Even if there's a situation where you have the right play dialed up defensively, he can make the offense right. His legs are something you're going to have to deal with. And, man, I cannot wait to watch what they are the rest of the way. Again, next game is at Colorado. That'll be a good one, but Kansas State, I think, right now is my pick to win the Big 12. Therefore, they are in the playoff penthouse. No, Utah is massive. Miami, still in the playoff penthouse. And, yeah, the game against Va-Tech makes you a little bit nervous, right? You don't like to see your team play with their food, especially against a team that's 2-2. Now, I've gone on record and said this many times. I think Va-Tech has a case to be one of, if not the best, now 3-loss, but at that point, 2-loss team in all of college football. I think the thing with Miami going forward here is, okay, now how do you reset from that Va-Tech game? We said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Close wins where you play poorly ultimately can cause you to relax or can cause you to pick up the pace a little bit and have a greater sense of urgency. I think we see the latter this week from Miami. I also think that Cam Ward, his prize picks number is 298.5 pass yards. Y'all, Cam Ward has gone past that number every single game this season. So therefore, we'll take Cam Ward, more than 298.5 pass yards, feel great about doing so. Use code HARDCOUNT, $5 in lineups, gets you $50 in promo funds. Prize Picks taking care of us, making sure we can take care of y'all, giving out our plays there. So go ahead and lock that one in. Miami, again, still very much so in the playoff penthouse. Big game this week at Cal, so we'll keep an eye on Miami. Texas, they're off this week. Had a nice little dub with the win over Mississippi State. It should be the Quinn Ewers show now going forward, like assuming he gets back healthy. And this is the next couple of weeks where you say, okay, this is the SEC. Like, this is the baptism, if you will. Not to say Texas hasn't had a schedule with some rigor to it. The Michigan win, obviously, is a big reason why some folks would say they're still the top team in America. They have Red River after the bye this week, and then they have Georgia coming to their place. So it's about to ramp up in a big way for Texas. The thing I'm curious about with them is how those veteran traits sustain them in those key spots. Because that's kind of been the key differentiating factor for teams that win the national championship. They have a very veteran, mature nature about themselves. Michigan last year, Georgia the year before that, and Georgia the year before that. So all things considered, Texas, the veteran nature of what they are, paired with the talent that they have, paired with who they have at quarterback, with Quinn Ewers, you feel pretty good about the Longhorns going forward. But again, we're going to learn a lot about them here after the bye this upcoming week. Now here's one more for you. Tennessee. They were in the penthouse after the win over Oklahoma. They were on a bye this past week. They go to Arkansas this week. I said it yesterday. I want to say it again. This is the kind of team now, if you're a Tennessee fan, you can feel confident taking home to your parents. What does that even mean? It means that Tennessee's not just an enjoyable team to have around. They're not just good company. They're not just fun to be around. Like, this is a team now in Tennessee that has legitimately, they could be the one kind of characteristics. Because I think the offense, especially once Nico Iamaleava continues to trend upward and get his sea legs completely, they're going to be in real good shape. But it's the defense, man. It's the values. It's the character of the defense. Allowing 8.3 points per game, that is third in the entire country. They're allowing 2.8 yards per play. That is number 1 in all of college football. So it's not just they're fun to be around. It's you could see a life with them. You could see this team putting a ring on it. And we'll see that with Tennessee. But all in all, man, I think there's definitely a case for the Vols to be right there at the end of this thing when it comes to the college football playoff. So that's our penthouse when it comes to hotel playoff.